introduced to America, really. Some people have said they've never had a chance to meet him. But the man, the National Board of Directors, thought it not robbery to take a chance, as some of the older people will say, on a new baby, 36 years old, Benjamin Todd Jealous.
Thank you all for being here. You know, I was sitting there thinking as somebody came to this town who's 17 years old to go to college, that Holder will be here, Patterson will be here, Obama will be here, and they all have one very identifying factor. Graduated from Columbia University, went to college at Harvard. Thank you, it's great to be here. You know, this year is an interesting year. It's a year when sort of the warm water of hope and the cold water of frustrations mix in a whirlpool for many people. January 20th is a day of transformative possibility in this country, and the whole world celebrated with us as we had a magnificent change of government, and we broke the 233-year-old color barrier in the White House. January 21st, most families woke up and found that not much had changed. Dad was still out of work, mom wasn't being paid enough at work, too many folks in the neighborhood headed off to prison dying of AIDS. Too many kids' schools, and embarrassment to everything in this country today. The only thing that changed was that the children's aspirations were higher. The children's aspirations were higher, and the distance between a child's aspiration and their family's situation is the exact measurement of a parent's frustration. That is the context in which we live and in which the NAACP does its work. Our job for 100 years has been to make the American dream real for all families, to get the situation to catch up with the aspiration. And while we have succeeded in many ways, and we will celebrate incredible accomplishments here, including some of those that were mentioned, Holder, Patterson, Ursula Barnes, Xerox, we will also be very much focused on the work ahead. Fight for good jobs, the fight for good schools, the fight for safe and just communities and neighborhoods for everyone. A lot of that hinges upon having a Supreme Court that represents the diversity of this country, with judges who hear the truth, judges who have lived the lives that regular people live in this country. And so we are very excited that as we stand here on the beginning of our Centennial Convention, we are on the eve of seeing our first woman of color appointed to the Supreme Court. We're very excited, quite frankly, to see the complexion of the court moving beyond binary. Because this country is not simply black or white. Truthfully, the NAACP is not simply black or white. You travel around this country, and you will see we are a very black organization, but we are not a black organization. There is a difference. There is a difference. It's a difference between playing the black position on the field and being able to play any position of leadership on the field. The difference between being on one side of the bridge and building the bridge. If you are in Maine, and I want the reporters to understand this, if you are in Maine at the Maine State Prison, there are 200 inmates, there are 90 black inmates, excuse me, there are 900 inmates, there are 90 black inmates, there are 200 members of the NAACP. Most of our membership there are white prisoners. If you are in Alabama, you will see some branches are almost entirely Native American. If you're in Seattle, or San Jose, or Hammer-Amtrak, Michigan, you will see significant Southeast Asian leadership. There have always been white presidents of the NAACP. Our first president was a white woman who knew York very well. If you are in parts of the Southwest and even Virginia, you will see significant Latino participation. So we are very excited. We also have a message as these hearings start. We would like to see Senator Sessions tone down his rhetoric. His description of our sister organization, the Puerto Rican Little Pearl Deaf, as it's now known, as extreme, is reminiscent of his previous comments about us as communists and un-American. That sort of rhetoric, frankly, didn't belong in the 20th century. Perhaps it belonged in the 19th, but it has no place here in the 21st. The Republican Party needs to lift up the legacy of their historical leader, of our historical inspiration, President Lincoln, and stop trying to resurrect the nonsense of Jefferson Davis.